Good evening if you're joining us from Asia. Good afternoon if you're joining us from Europe or Africa. Good morning if you're joining us from the Americas. Welcome to Kenji Ojima's YouTube Live International. My name is Robert. I will be your MC and host on this 1 hour journey of learning. And joining me, as always, the world famous and magnificent orthodontist, Dr. Kenji Ojima. Dr. Kenji, how are you?
Hello, Robert.
We are happy to be joining you all today, but we wish we were joining you under more bright circumstances. Of course, as you all know, because of coronavirus resulting pandemic, many of us still cannot go to work, many of us still cannot go to school, and cannot enjoy our lives the way we typically do. In these dark times, it's important to try to fill your life with as much sunshine as you can, which is why you've come to join us here today, haven't you? So we hope that for the next hour, we can provide you with a pleasant and intellectual distraction from your daily stress, and hopefully give you some tips for your own orthodontic practice and some opportunities to ask the master himself your own question. Now, if you're joining us for the first time, please take a moment to like and subscribe to our channel. Help us grow our brand, help us grow our channel, and please join us in the live chat. If you have any comments for Dr. Kenji or any questions you'd like to ask him, as soon as you have them, write them in the chat and we will address them as soon as we can. Today we have two magnificent treatments that we're going to cover and talk about in detail, which will give us plenty of time to engage you in conversation. So please, 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 once you hit like and subscribe, get into that live chat and give us your input to make this an even better. This is our fourth YouTube Live International, ladies and gentlemen. This is our fourth time. Kenji, can you believe it? We've done 4 already.
Fourth.
It's amazing, right?
Yes, amazing. So this time is just 4, but many of the doctors for the comment to us. Then so all the time is very exciting, and anytime for the directly ask to us, then we can the answer to you is as possible in this time. Today's topic is amazing because one approach is upper extraction only, then finally is a class 2 finish. Another one is a very difficult case, almost same as the last number 3 case.
Okay.
Lower molar extraction, then so that we can control second molar visualization. After that, how to control for the wisdom tooth, then using the mini screw, then finally uprighting. This is amazing. Very difficult case.
I am very much looking forward to it. In our last YouTube Live on Saturday, we had a lot of questions about challenges with mesialization, about whether or not you needed to remove the wisdom tooth before performing mesialization, how to work with mini screws in order to increase the efficacy and predictability of treatments. And I think we're going to dive into more detail this time on those topics. But again, if while we're talking, we gloss over something or you'd like more detail, once again, in that chat, get your words out there. Let us know what we can do to make this a more enriching educational experience for you. And let's get started. Kenji, take us away. What is our first case today?
Okay, so initially I want to start it. My initial case is this one. This is first case. So let's go first case. Initial case is extraction upper first premolars. The patient is come to my office. How to manage for space closing. This patient is a 40 years old female patient. Which tooth is better to extraction? Sometimes orthodontist is very difficult to decision which teeth is more long-term stability, which teeth is better result, better smiling. Okay. Then anytime is planning is very difficult. Anytime, any patient. Please have a look. This patient initially come to my office. So the upper both sides for the canine is just a little bit high canine and just a little bit class 2 situation for the left side. For the right side is a class 1 canine relationship, but the molars is a definitely class 2 situation. And for the lower 36 is already missing. 37 is missing. Left side is a lower 37 is missing here. Then so that this is the wisdom tooth. This is already missing. The how to management like this tooth movement. So the basically is our approach is extraction wisdom tooth, but this patient is very difficult to extraction after alignment. Then so my planning is this wisdom teeth want to measure movement, then alignment, final situation. This is a initial situation. Midline is almost correct, and the upper right canine just a little bit not good for the torque, not good angulation. This is an initial situation OPG for this patient. Then please have a look for the upper teeth, upper first premolar, both of sides. Is this patient is a not good situation. Already root canal treatment is a square. This teeth is, have a look, not good for the root canal treatment. Is a crown is already broken. This is a 1.5. Then so the 2.5 is not a good situation, and the same as this is already take a root canal treatment for this patient. Normally is not normally, but many of the case is first choice extraction is first premolars, but this patient is first premolar is more good stability, not good situation is a 1.5 2.5. Then so my planning for this patient is extraction 1.5 2.5. Then we have to think about E-line profile. Then so the 1 2 1 we have to need lingual root torque, and 3 1 4 1 is a more intrusion. We have to correct curve of speed, and the molar measurization 38. And this is the profile. So I want to control for the canine retraction, and we have to need the retraction 1.5 extraction. Then we have to need the anterior root torque control and measure movement for the molar side, upper molars. This is my planning, and intrusion lower anterior teeth like this. Then we have to need think about the face. The face integration teeth, we have to check midline is correct. This is a tooth alignment. Face integration clean check we use for the digital smile design protocol. The how millimeter intrusion, how do you think management buccal corridor, we have to need expansion canine to canine. Then as you can see, this patient after extraction, then tooth movement is a 1.5 2.5 extraction only. Then distal movement 1.4 2.4. After that, canine upper canine retraction. At the same time, we have to need intrusion lower anterior teeth. After that, we want to retraction anterior upper anterior teeth. This is different tooth movement, right side and left side. Then first clean check, initially my planning is this. Lower 38 wisdom teeth don't move anymore. First clean check, first my simulation is 38 wisdom tooth is just using for anchorage. Never measure movement, never tooth movement. Please have a look. 38 is still there. Only rotation, only alignment. Not to measure movement, not to space closing. This is after post extraction. Post extraction upper side 1.5, right side. Left side is 2.5. And keep lower wisdom tooth, left side. Then started to align orthodontic treatment for this patient. This is a first aligner setting. Okay, so my normal protocol. So the initial aligner never place on any attachment, never place on any button on the hook. I already told you. So the initially is we call practice aligners. So the patient have to need practice, easy to insert, easy to remove. That is very important to us. Then this is a first aligners. The second appointment is patient compliance is good, so we place on the attachment and using the button, place on the elastic, using elastic, then started to class the elastic. Please have a look at this patient. Upper first premolars is the distal movement and the space closing upper distal space, extraction space. Using place on the button and the place on the hook, directly bonding hook, using class elastic like this. And the red color is attachment. This attachment is very important thing. This canine attachment meaning is anti-rotation in the aligners. And the first lower molar attachment meaning is anti-medial tipping. Okay. Then after that, we use class elastic like this, then going to space closing. This is my plan. Space closing almost. This is the end of the first clean check. First clean check end. The upper extraction space is almost closed, but you can see lower left wisdom teeth is still there, not space closing. And midline is not correct. Midline is not correct. And the canine, root canine is not good axis. We want to control root control. Then we take a scanning again. We take a plan 2, okay? Refinement staging. This is the end of the first clean check. This tooth movement, end of the first clean check. Then we take a scanning again, then create more detailing staging, okay? We step up detailing staging. We have to need midline correct. We have to need is a canine root axis like this, more good for the axis. That is better to canine guidance. And lower wisdom tooth is going to measure movement. This is a we have to need it planning clean check 2. Please have a look. This is second clean check. Okay. Second clean check is more tightly is bite molar side, and we have to need more good anterior guidance for this patient. And the measure movement lower left wisdom tooth like this, and have to need for the canine is a root control. That is very important thing for us. Okay.
How long did it take to finish treatment through the first clean check?
First clean check around in 1 year. Around 1 year.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Because of this patient also using acceleration device, then so the maybe the 3-day aligner change for the end of the time first clean check is around 1 year. Then this is a final situation for this patient. The midline is correct. Canine, so the root is good. And the lower wisdom tooth is a space closing. And we can achieve more is tight bite. This is the final situation for this patient. This is a profile and the smiling. This is the end of the situation for this patient. This is a comparison initial. Thank you. Initial and final. So the have a look is smiling and the canine axis is totally different and more easy to smiling. So the easy to biting. Easy to brushing. This is a final situation for this patient. So this is the end of the first case. But the topic is for first case is very important thing. Some of the time we have to need the direction, which tooth is more better to extraction, first premolar or second premolars. So my idea like this situation, we need combine to non-extraction approaching with extraction approaching. What is meaning combined approaching? This patient initially 1525 extraction, then we need for the distal movement 1424. This movement, this approach is non-extraction approaching. After space closing, started to the canine retraction. Okay. Some of the times, any of the doctor is very confused how like this situation, how to do. So sometimes using the mini screw, but my approaching like this, space closing, upper teeth movement, lower molar majoralization, that is not needed for the mini screw. Only aligner can possible like this tooth movement. Okay. So one of the attendees have a question, right?
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you for a wonderful case, Kenji. Very complex, having different styles of movement, different styles of treatment combined, and then having one set of movement on one side of the face at the same time as the other, all while using acceleration with complex sequential movement. Absolutely incredible. How do you do it? So moving into our chat, we have a question from, and I'm going to make a mistake on this, I apologize. Apfelwormchen says,
Hello.
Did you use any auxiliaries like power arms to mesialize the 38?
So the hello Apfel is thanks a lot, wonderful question. But this patient, we don't need any auxiliaries, only button, only attachment, only elastic. So no need any tab, no need auxiliaries, only this. Very important thing like this is think about which teeth is anchorage and which teeth is premature contact or not. And some of the time is like this tooth movement is better way is good for the bite position. Then we can control major movement. But some of the time, molar is easy to tipping like this. We want to prevent for the major tipping. At this time is a place on the attachment here, and we have to take scanning 100% for around the molars. Then aligner is here, and I don't use any pontic, so the missing tooth area. Pontic is some of the time is don't cover to, how I say, wisdom tooth not 100% for the cover, not 100% cover to first molars. Then so that we don't use for the any pontic like this situation. Only aesthetic reason using for the pontic.
Interesting. So really focusing on the biomechanics required in tooth movement and focusing on which anchorage is necessary at what time, just planning your tooth movement out based on natural inclination. That's great. You're a purist, Kenji. You like to be pure with your aligner treatments. Well, thank you very much for your question, Apfel. We have another question in the chat from Deborah Tiong. Thank you for joining us again, Deborah. This is, I believe, your third time with us. Thank you for joining us for the after chat last week, too. It's wonderful to see you supporting us, and we appreciate it very much. Deborah says, I see multiple button cutouts on the second clean check. Could you explain your protocol for elastics to settle the bite?
Okay. Hello, Deborah. Name is Deborah. Deborah. Thank you. I will show you second clean check. Let's go into second clean check. This is a second clean check. Please have a look. Initially, so that I think all the time is a second clean check time is which attachment is removed, which attachment is stay. That is very important thing because that stay attachment here, then take a scanning is a more fitting, it's better to alignment, right? Next aligner is very fitting, is better. But some of the attachment is don't need it. At this time I remove, okay? Then so I will show you left side. Please have a look here. Wisdom tooth never place on any attachment. Do you understood what is meaning? Never place on any attachment. Sometimes attachment is cause of unfitting because place on the attachment like this area It's very difficult. So at this time, we take a scanning 100% completely. That is more good fitting for the aligner and the tooth. The gripping is better. We can control everything. But sometimes attachment template and the place on the attachment, at this time, just a little bit make a gap, create a gap. Then started already aligner unfitting. Like this situation, big crown, big teeth, and the natural teeth, I don't need any attachment. But if this tooth, second molars, I will place on the attachment. But the third molar is very difficult to place on the attachment. At this time, we don't use any attachment. Only scanning, completely perfect, then could control for the major movement. Like this.
Very interesting. So the teeth that have a lower surface with which to control with the aligner are more effective places to use an attachment, and larger teeth like the wisdom tooth that have plenty of surface for the aligner to grip don't necessarily need the attachment because you can control so well with a proper scan. It's very interesting.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Deborah.
Yes, thank you, Deborah. And please keep giving us your wonderful questions because they really help us move our discussion forward. Okay, our next question is from Daval Fadia. Welcome back, Daval. Thank you again. Always joining us in the chat, always active, and always inquisitive. Another question from Daval says, how to control mesialization of the 38 with long-standing extraction and thin ridge with cortical bone encroaching due to residual ridge resorption. What would you do in this situation to control mesialization, Kenji?
Okay. Dahabel, right? Dahabel. Hello, Dahabel. Thanks a lot. Wonderful question. I will explain like this tooth movement. Initially, very important thing, take a cone beam CT first. Okay. So the cone beam CT is why is very important thing is so that you are very smart. You are right. But we have to check the cortical bone is here. If some of the time hit for the root, cannot measure movement like this already. This is a very strongly anchorage. We have to take a cone beam CT here. Then if root already hit cortical bone, we want to root control first, then measure movement. Okay? So only clean check, we don't know everything. If take a cone beam CT first, then you can understand for the anatomical situation for root, then go overlap for your clean check. Initially, if like this tooth movement, molar measurization is very difficult tooth movement, but here is molars, right? The root. Already cortical bone is hit here, cannot do everything, only easy to tipping, okay? So we have to check anatomical data first. If just little bit hit cortical bone on the root, we want to control first root, then measure movement. That is very important thing.
Excellent. Wonderful question, Daval. Thank you so much. And great explanation, Kenji, using a prop to make it easier to understand. Thank you. Our next question is from Anadel Ramirez. Hello, Anadel.
Anadel, hello.
Hello. Anadel asks, does Dr. Ojima remove pre-existing attachment before the second clean check?
Yes, very nice. Yes, nice question. So all the time, I think what is more good fitting aligner and tooth all the time, because the specialty aligner orthodontic is a very important thing. Aligner fitting is better, the good tooth movement. If aligner fitting is not good, cannot move anymore, right? So my master, Dr. Barnashub, is a very important thing, is a take before scanning, put on attachment. That is perfect scanning, right? But all of the doctors in the world is, this is align technology rule. No place any attachment before scanning. Okay, that is align technology rule. So after I saw Dr. Barnashub clinic, so that initially I take a place attachment first, then take a scanning, then I send to the Align technology. But all my case is reject. Align told me, please remove all attachment before scanning. But the refinement time is no. refinement time, if with attachment, after take a scanning, is align is no reject. This is very important thing to us. Tooth is here, attachment already here, okay? Then scanning. Then create 3D printing model, then create an aligner. That is totally fitting 100%, right? But if this tooth attachment is no need remove before the rescanning again, at this time we are just, how I say, attachment surface is obturation, just polishing. Then this, please check, this tooth no need this first green check attachment. At this time remove. Have a look. Second premolar, first premolar, lower 34, 35 is a second green check is a new attachment. This attachment initially, have a look. This is the first green check attachment. First green check is, I will show you, this attachment, rectangular attachment, right? Then, because I want to measure movement, I want to distal movement and rotation, but the second clean check no need same tooth movement. Then second clean check is a remove attachment and place on another attachment, because the second clean check 34, 35 is a root control is very important thing. Then I place on optimize attachment. So you have to decide on second clean check time. If same attachment is better tooth movement after clean check, second clean check, or if needed new tooth movement at this time, remove all old attachment, then scanning, then start before started for the clean check, second clean check, place on new attachment. Okay.
Excellent. Very thorough explanation, Kenji. It's interesting how many of these questions that seem to a master like a very simple basic idea really show the depth of the knowledge that is necessary to make these sort of decisions without thinking. That's wonderful. Thank you for your question, Anadel. Excellent question. Excellent answer, Kenji. Let's take one or two more questions before we go on to our next case. Our next question is from Tamara Nitya. Welcome back, Tamara.
Tamara, hello.
Thank you for coming. Tamara asks, did you do any IPR on the lower arch?
This case is no, because this case is no needed IPR. But finally, the last time or 2 times before, I told you if I use for the IPR, I want to correct for the final detailing and the midline. At this time, sometimes I use for the IPR, but this case is no.
Okay, great. Once again, when we discussed IPR in not our last discussion, but 2 discussions ago, again, we said case by case with IPR, yes. Right? And in this case by case. Okay. Thank you again for being a supporter, Tamara. Thank you again for your wonderful question, and keep them coming. We'll take 1, maybe 2 more questions before we move on to the next case. Okay. Next, from Dr. Victor. Welcome back, Victor. Welcome back, Dr. Victor. Did you ever try or think to do corticotomies to enhance molar mesialization?
Victor, very smart. So corticotomy is some of the time very effective tooth movement for the acceleration, because after corticotomy and sometimes the PAO is after do that is the blood supply is very high, easy to tooth movement. Please have a look at this patient. I want to back to initial situation. This patient initially already extracted for the lower first molars. So I don't need it for any surgical approaching before third molar major movement. But if sometime is, how I say, cannot move anymore, at this time I place on the corticotomy, sometimes PAO, for example, ankylosis wisdom tooth. But this tooth is no need surgical approaching before major movement. Then so this patient is no. But your idea is very nice. Because wisdom tooth and the lower molar is sometimes very difficult to control for measurization. If more safety placed on the additional colchicotomy, additional PAO is sometimes very nice approaching for before tooth movement measurization.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Victor. And thank you again, Dr. Kenji. So we have one final question from Dr. Mohammad Asadi. Hello, Dr. Mohammad.
Hello, Mohammad.
Mohammad says, thank you so much. Appreciate your efforts and many thanks for your time and lectures, Dr. Kenji. This is a very large question that he has asked, and it's one that we covered deeply, I think, in our second International Live. So if you missed that one 2 ago, maybe you should go back and have a listen to that one, Mohammed. But can you please explain more about attachment type and rules, especially with regards to biomechanics?
Yeah.
It's a very deep topic, I think.
Yeah. So sometimes is attachment is simple, looks very simple, but the effect is very, how I say, very important thing, I think. So normally I choose attachment is this is a first clean check. Then my simple question, a simple answer is rectangular attachment is very, very effective because there's not only one way effect. The rectangular attachment is multiple have a active surface. For example, please have a think about the upper 2-4, upper left first premolar. This is only at active surface is major aspect. Okay, then distal aspect is just like this smooth. This is not active surface. Only active surface is only here. But have a look. So the 2-3, the canine is placed on the rectangular attachment. This is active surface area is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 dimension is active surface. If you want to more complex tooth movement, at this time you easy to choose is a place on the rectangular attachment. This is a very effective. Okay, so I all the time think about is sometimes is a key of the tooth movement for this patient. At this time I select rectangular attachment here. Then so the second rule is we have to keep the distance aligner from aligner margin to attachment, because attachment margin and attachment aligner margin to attachment margin less than 2 millimeters. So the aligner material is very soft, cannot grip completely. Then so that's not good for the tooth movement. So that my rule second is think about distance aligner margin to attachment. Okay. And the third rule is a very important thing. That one is very important thing. Not only one way. Very important thing. Sometimes distalization. Sometimes is a reaction force. But all the time is a doctor think about attachment is only one way. Sometimes it's a rotation only, intrusion only, exclusion only. But my idea all the time attachment is not only one way. Sometimes intrusion, but if this tooth is a control time is intrusion only. But sometimes this tooth is a anchorage meaning. At this time, another tooth is a retraction, sometimes distalization. At this time here is anchorage. At this time, what is tooth movement for the attachment is better or not. At this time is not only one way meaning placed on the attachment. Then a more easy selection is rectangular attachment. It's more easy and more effective. Definitely I recommend.
Excellent. Well, wonderful, detailed explanation. And did you catch those 3 rules, Dr. Mohammed. I hope you caught them, and if you didn't, please remember that we often get questions in the chat. All of our YouTube live discussions are recorded, and they will remain on Dr. Kenji Ojima's YouTube channel. So if you'd like to go back and review, just remember to go ahead and hit subscribe and like this video so you can easily find it in your viewing history. Okay, and Kenji, we have one more question, I believe. Two more questions, actually. Would you like to take these two questions now, or would you like to go to the next case and then go back?
Go back is better.
Okay, great. Let's move on to the next case. Thank you very much to everyone who gave us their wonderful questions, and to the two doctors whose questions we did not address. If we have time at the end, we'll come back and readdress them. But for now, let's move on to our next case. Dr. Ojima, take us away.
Okay, let's go next. Here. Next case is very, how I say, similar approaching, but a different idea. Okay. Initially, this patient is placed on the extraction first molars. Okay. Last case is already extracted. Okay. Lower molars. This case, next case is extraction first molars. After that, medialization second molars. Then same as this, control wisdom tooth. After that, uprighting wisdom tooth with minuscule like this. Okay. How to manage about no long-term stability tooth. So the orthodontist all the time think about which tooth is more long-term stability or no long-term stability tooth. Okay. Now this patient chief complaint is anterior clouding and high canine. This is our initial patient situation. The problem is already root canal treatment one teeth. Okay. Not good long-term stabilities. I will show you. Initially, patient come to my office. This is the initial situation. This patient is a chief complaint is high canine and class 2 relationship and narrow arch, anterior clouding, then so not good smiling. This patient, 21 years old female patient, come to my office. Have a look. This is a canine, upper canine. Then this patient is chief complaint is here. So my planning is upper first premolar extraction or upper arch is no extraction, then upper molar distalization, sequential tooth movement, then canine retraction. And how to manage no long-term stability tooth. This patient is 36, lower left first molars. Okay. Have a look. This is an OPG. This tooth is already root canal treatment and not good result and have any problems, disease. This tooth is definitely no long-term stability because already patient have any pain. This is overlap X-ray OPG. Then you can understood my planning is extraction first molar 36. Then my planning is this is a second molar medial movement with aligners. After that, I want to control lower wisdom tooth is naturally medialization. Upper side is no extraction. Sequentially molar distalization. Then alignment. This is the upper tooth, my planning. Okay. Have a look. This is a first clean check. This is a first clean check. Upper molar sequential tooth movement, distalization. Then lower second molar is medial movement. Okay. Only aligners. This is my planning. The many of the doctors talk about lower molar medialization is very, very difficult. Yes, I think so. But if think about biomechanics, if think about what's behind aligner orthodontic, then we can do like this tooth movement. Only aligners. Upper teeth is I already told you last time and the second time before. So the molar distalization upper side is very definitely effective for the aligners. Have a look. Initially, aligner is good for the fitting all the teeth. Then upper molar distalization create a space, and the lower medialization, lower second molar is medialization. Aligner fitting and the tooth is completely perfect. Then we can continue like this. You can see, so the upper molar distalization, then the canine is class 1 relationship, and the lower second molar is medialization completely, aligner fitting, just a little bit unfit, but that's still good. Then have a look for the lower left for the wisdom tooth. Wisdom tooth is a follow-up second molar medialization. This wisdom tooth is not covered to any aligners, no additional orthodontic force. This is just natural medialization, natural eruption. Then already space closing for the second molar medialization. Then our team is placed on the mini screw and place on the bottom on the wisdom tooth. Then pulling like this, going to uprighting. Have a look. This is an X-ray. The initial time is a medialization wisdom tooth, natural eruption, place on the mini screw, then using elastic, then uprighting. Okay. This is our team protocol. This is final situation. Finally is a midlines correct. The canine guidance is achieved, class 1 relationship, and the lower side is a class 1 relationship, but the lower left is this is not first molar, second molar. This is a second molar, third molars, because the lower second molar is medialization, space closing. This is comparison initial and final. The space closing, midlines correct for the canine guidance class 1 relationship achieved. This is the comparison initial and final. Alignment is and the space closing is good for the finally is we remove the no long-term stability tooth. This is a more benefit for this patient because if stay there, lower first molar, lower left first molar will be this patient 10 years later, maybe 20 years later, have to need the extraction, sometimes have to need place on implant. But the orthodontic treatment, space closing completely, so that this patient is no need any additional prosthetic approaching. That is a benefit to us and a benefit to this patient. Okay.
That is an amazing case, and I'm not the only one who thinks so, Kenji. We have several people in our chat complimenting you on the high quality of your treatment. So just like to say hello again to Dr. Kudo, perhaps, from Prism Tower Kudo Dentistry. Thank you for coming out, and thank you for your compliments.
どうも、工藤先生。
And then also thank you from Kyamin So for complimenting this wonderful treatment. And honestly, it is shocking to see these kind of results without any sort of further treatment or further procedures necessary. It is absolutely amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions or comments you'd like to fire at Kenji, either about this case, about the previous case, or about his treatment philosophy in general, get into that live chat and shoot your ideas at us. So let's start with the questions that were asked during the course of this case. The first one from maybe this is from our last case, from Dr. Dr. Oscar Hendriono.
Oscar, hello.
Doctor, Dr. Oscar says, do you specify specific staging movement for the first clean check? I think this is maybe the last
case. This is Oscar question is a last case? Initial one?
It may be. Oscar, why don't you tell us whether it was the first case you would like to ask about or the second case? And in the meantime, we'll take the next question from Dr. Gustavo Pimpao Viana. Hello, Dr. Gustavo.
Gustavo, hello.
Gustavo says, hello, Kenji. How do you request the staging of this movement for the technician in this case?
Second one, right?
Yes.
The second one is a combination. Upper side is a non-extraction approaching. The lower side, the right side is a normal non-extraction approaching. Left side is a measurization. Is different for the four component. But a very important thing is that this patient is a controlled upper molar distalization. This is a cheap complaint. Okay. And for this patient is age is 21. 21 is wisdom tooth is very good for the eruption time. Then we can use for the eruption force, naturally eruption force, and aligner is support to measurization. So all the time is doctor think about is what timing is very important thing for this patient, right? And same as this for this patient, same as the last case, we have to take a cone beam CT and we have to check so how to situation the root position. If some of the time root is hitting for the cortical bone, this is cannot for the measure movement. If check for the root position, initially like this, we want to root movement first, remove for the cortical bone, then we can go to a measure movement, right? So not only focus on clean check. The many of the orthodontists, many of the doctors think about only clean check. That is very dangerous. Clean check is one of the process, right? Then so that doctors think about anatomical data. Anatomical data from cone beam CT, anatomical data from occlusal aspect, occlusal positioning, and guidance, and condyle situation, function, so that this patient is extraction first molar immediately after measurization is very effective because blood supply is very high. That is very easy to control for like this tooth movement. Not for the specialty one. So that think about basically orthodontics knowledge.
Thank you for your wonderful question, Gustavo, and thank you for your detailed answer, Kenji. Let's go on and take a few more questions and comments. Let's start with a comment from Dr. Fiona Go. Welcome back, Fiona. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fiona says this finishing is amazing. Subarashi. She gives us her Japanese.
Arigatou. Thank you.
Okay, let's move on to a question from Dr. Victor Guerrero. Hello, Dr. Victor Guerrero.
Hello, Victor.
When expanding the upper arch, you did it by pure buccal crown inclination and the add buccal root torque, or did you add it progressively during expansion?
Yes, for the very important thing is that if you want for the separation tooth movement is more predictably or not. Sometimes is same time, so the expansion, distal movement, or sequential tooth movement is more safety or not. The specialty like this patient I will show you is a fast clean check. Please watch carefully. Initial situation is here. Then upper side. Please watch carefully. This is upper side. So the left side is sequential distalization for the left molars, and upper right is a simply distalization, no expansion, okay? Then we want to control for the anchorage control after molar distalization, then we started premolar distalization. At this time, canine to canine is never move anymore because I use canine to canine is anchorage. After molar premolar distalization completely, then we started anterior tooth and canine tooth movement. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for your question, Dr. Victor Guerrero, and Kenji, thank you for your answer. We have a comment from a viewer named Begum who says, excellent, and has a very cute
Thank you.
emoji for us. Thank you very much. It is a very
Begum.
excellent case, and I'm sure that and in this case, as in many others, the patient is the true hero here because their compliance is what allows such an amazing treatment to be possible. We have another question from Dr. Tamaro Nitya who says, wonderful case, but how long did you need to upright the wisdom tooth?
Tamara, thank you. So this uprighting about less than 2 months. So the uprighting using the TAD, like this tooth movement very, very fast, around 2 or 3 months. So that because place on that, okay. Here is a wisdom tooth, okay. Then place on TAD here, only just tooth movement, only this, okay. Then using elastic force is intrusion and uprighting, not like this. If like this tooth movement, we have started to happen premature contact. But now I write on this, okay. Now I drawing, so the force system is here and here. Okay? Using, this is a wisdom tooth. Sorry, this is a wisdom tooth. Then this is mini screw, okay? Then this is elastic, rubber band. Elastic is uprighting with intrusion. Okay, this is prevent for the only premature contact. Okay, ここ uprighting, not only uprighting with intrusion. Okay, yes. This sort of position is very important thing. I will show you. Yes. So the button here, TAD here, the elastic is push to intrusion with uprighting. That is very important thing. If without push, intrusion, immediately after premature contact, another teeth cannot bite anymore. That is very, very important thing. Tamara is very nice question.
Yes, excellent. And just a couple of quick follow-ups that are basically just yes or no follow-ups. Did you do detailing after you uprighted the 38?
Oh, this is detailing, uprighting, yes.
Exactly. I'm just making sure that she understands.
Thank you.
That's good. And then one last question about this particular tooth movement. Did the TAD interfere with maxillary molar contact?
Sorry. So did you request?
So that's Tamara's last question at 2220. Said, did the TAD interfere with maxillary molar contact?
Okay. Could you say again, please?
Sure. It's 2220. It's our second to last question.
2220.
They were all three of. Yes.
Which one? Which question is right?
Well, listen, look, we'll get down to it. Let's work down the list, and then we will get down to that question if we have time. Let's jump back up and take a question from a new doctor, Dr. Lo Kaiwo. Hello, Dr. Lo.
Lo, thank you.
Dr. Lo says, well done. Did you include the 38 in your aligner?
38. So the initially is never. Because I only focus on the second molars, right? Then after second molar measurization, if needed for the cover to 38, please have a look. Never cover to 38, only 37. Okay. Then after alignment here, after alignment, uprighting, if you need to take a rescanning again, just a little bit control. If you want, it depends.
Okay, but in this case, no, he did not. Wonderful. Thank you very much for your question, Dr. Lowe, and your answer, Dr. Kenji. Let's take another question from Dr. Sneh Mehta, I believe.
Hello, Sneh.
Okay, and Dr. Sneh's question is, do you request an occlusal tab above the third molar during uprighting to control the extrusive tendency?
No.
Okay. Simple question, simple answer. Wonderful. Our next question from Dr. David Tan. Hello, Dr. David.
Hello, David.
And David says, thank you for sharing your knowledge. I'm wondering if we plan to place a button on the mesial with vertical rectangular attachment on distal with distal crown tip. Will it prevent mesial crown tipping?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Excellent. So we just had a detailed conversation about buttons and about button shape and biomechanics. And yes, the answer, it sounds like Dr. David has understood that discussion in detail. So we have heard back from Dr. Oscar, who says his question was about the first case. So we had a question at 2207 from Dr. Oscar Hendriono that said, do you specify specific staging movement for the first clean check in the first case?
First clean check.
Yes.
Okay, first clean check is last case, right? First case.
Yes, the first case. So did you specify staging in the clean check?
Yes, so very important thing is that we all the time think about which tooth is anchorage or not. The initial one case, okay, I will go back to the first one. That case is a too difficult point because the upper teeth is extraction, the lower teeth is a missing tooth, right? So I go back to lower molar. Okay. So this patient problem is upper side is a 142 for extraction, lower side is missing 37. Then so that we, Deepbite is two approaching. Initial clean check is focused on upper second premolar this extraction area, how to control space closing alignment. This is a focus on first clean check. Okay, then initial time is a focus on upper tooth movement is a specialty focus, and lower side is a keep the distance, not to space closing completely, keep here because I want to use lower left molar anchorage. Okay, then so that space not space closing first clean check, and the first clean check, the 1 2 and the 2 2 is 1 2 alignment like this. Okay, upper teeth because face integration clean check, we know how millimeter intrusion, how millimeter expansion is better for good for this patient. Have a look. Face integration clean check. Then we understood how millimeter, how many degrees control is better or not. Face integration clean check. Then I can understood how millimeter tooth movement. Then I create this patient clean check. Okay. So that this first case is a meaning is 2 is an initial clean check is a focus on maxillary approaching, the support to the lower wisdom tooth. The second clean check is a detailing tooth movement, alignment, and the space closing lower left wisdom tooth.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad that we could go back and cover your question, Dr. Oscar, and thank you for taking the time and patience to go back and answer that question, Dr. Kenji. Ladies and gentlemen, We are all out of time. This hour has just flown by. Your participation has made this yet another enriching and knowledge-filled discussion. Thank you so much for taking time out of your lives to come join us. The situation is changing around the world right now. Some countries in Europe, and I'm from America, my country as well, are starting to open up little bit by little bit. Please, no matter where you are, no matter what decisions are being made around you, please take care of yourself, take care of your families, take care of your coworkers. And in the meantime, if you're trying to get away from the world and you want to do some more learning, come join us again. Dr. Kenji and I are going to be doing these international lives roughly twice a week from now until you get tired of watching us, whenever that is. So if you're joining us for the first time and you'd like to come back and join us, please go ahead and hit that like and that subscribe button. Okay, help us grow our brand, and please let your friends know about us as well, and let them know that they can speak directly to Invisalign Master Dr. Kenji Ojima in our next YouTube Live International. Kenji, would you like to say some final words to our wonderful audience?
Yes, thanks a lot for the robot, and thanks a lot for the wonderful friend and colleagues. So our team, the robot and I is what is for the project for this one is I want to share to yours my experience, because now is a very dark time, so that everybody is a very sad and a very bad situation. But also dentist and the doctor is we need for the energy, because we have to take a patient or your patient. Then so our time is energetic for yours is better to us. So thanks a lot watching for our YouTube channel, and see you soon for the next our international YouTube channel. Thanks a lot again. Thanks everybody.
Take care, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks a lot.
Bye bye.